Hello and welcome. My name is Olga Chwa. Moving into the practice of yoga Nidra. This evening, a practice to begin welcoming the winter body. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to support this channel. As these last few weeks of autumn wind down and our air turns colder and drier for many of us, not all of us, but many of us are putting on thicker layers and hats and gloves and scarves and boots. We might stay indoors a little more. It might get dark a little earlier. Our activities might have changed. So just taking a moment to notice where you are in the weather of the world outside, wherever you might be in the world, taking a moment to check in with the season of your world and the season that's arriving in a few weeks here. As we begin December, we have a few more official weeks of autumn in the Northern Hemisphere. That will soon become winter, mid-December. And that might be true where you are, and that might be the opposite if you're down south of the equator. And then checking with your internal weather and your internal season, checking in, whatever that means to you. Do you, in your own inner landscape, feel like a springtime, something new beginning? Perhaps a summer and the fullness of projects or emotion. And perhaps you're at a stage of letting go and releasing, maybe even grieving, like the autumn. And maybe you're in a state of rest and replenishment, a state of regeneration like winter. Checking in with your own inner season as we all welcome the external season of winter in the Northern Hemisphere, at least for those of us here. And welcoming those qualities no matter where you are in your inner landscape. For some of us, that outside winter sparks a greater inner summer. We have, some of us, more energy, more projects. There's no wrong way to be, rest assured. As you move into this system of Yoga Nidra, your main assignment is to be comfortable, to let the body be at ease, supported, cared for, warm, sheltered, cozy. And at any moment, if you need to change your position, you do so. This body's comfort is the number one ingredient to the success of this practice. So finding that comfort with any means, taking the details into consideration and accommodating these details. As you are aware of the inner world and the outer world and how they are both here and both real. Let the eyes close. The sense of sight and vision sort of fades out for a moment as the inner eye opens, that third eye, an eye that sees into the past and into the future with no limits, no horizons. And the body is still and comfortable, so the sense of touch is limited. You might feel the floor beneath you, clothing or covers touching the skin. Take a moment to take a bit of an inventory of what are the physical sensations, the touch that you can perceive here and now. And checking in with the mouth and the nose for smells and tastes that are just happening to be here in this moment, in this body, in this experience. As the awareness rounds around to the ears that remain open and cautious listening to the sounds. And know that you're connected to the sound of these instructions, to this voice. And so the mind might drift off to sleep, and that's quite all right. At the end of the practice, you'll be invited to awaken, you'll be externalized for resuming conscious awareness. So let the voice hear these instructions be a guide, like a handrail or a rope on a mountainside. And the body is resting, it is comfortable, it is sheltered, it is soft, and the breath is coming and going. This body knows how to breathe. It has been since the day of your birth. And in this moment, this breath is invited to come freely. Each inhale arrives, welcomed into the body. The body receives these inhales like receiving an old friend and receiving the most wonderful gifts from that old friend, the gifts of life itself, oxygen, nitrogen, and the noble gases that arrive with each inhale. The body loves those. It's delighted to receive those. And in exchange, the body collects up its carbon dioxide and shuttles it out on the exhale, letting it go. In this ongoing miracle of exchange of the inner landscape with the outer world, the breath that fills these lungs and enters right into the bloodstream through these tiny single cell layered balloons inside our bodies, these air sacs. Following the breath and this awareness of the chest and the lungs and the heart space, and asking this question: how can I prepare for the winter? What might I do? How might I get ready? Is there something in the wardrobe that needs replenishing or fixing? Is there something in the way of keeping house that helps the body be more comfortable in the winter? As we go through these cycles and we forget how we live in one season, we need to remember as we return to that season, what are some of the things that we employ to be comfortable, to be soothed? And holding that question like a little seed planted, what do I need to know to be warm in this winter, to be cared for and comfortable in the months ahead? Asking the question and letting it go. Asking the question and returning the awareness to the breath, to the ongoing nourishment. And let this awareness touch now the space of the heart. Move to the space around the armpits, the ribs there, and the left and the right, all around to the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists. Become aware of the right hand, the left hand, the right hand thumb and the left hand thumb. Index fingers, right and left, and the middle fingers, ring fingers and little fingers. Palms of the hands, backs of the hands, wrists again, to the elbows again, to the shoulders. Be aware of the arms as they connect to the heart and chest, which is supported by the abdomen and the low back. The awareness moves down to the pelvis and the hips, down to the knees and ankles, right and left, heel and foot. The right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth, and the left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. Be aware of the feet and the ankles, again, the knees and the hips and the two legs together, the pelvis, the abdomen, the low back, the upper back, the chest, the neck and throat. Awareness of the back of the head, the right side and the left side with the right ear and the left, the right cheek and the left, chin and lips, nose and eyes, left and right, and eyebrow center, that eye in the middle, the third eye, that gazes inward onto the inner landscape. Awareness of forehead and top of the head, together, head and face, neck and shoulders, right and left arms, chest, back, abdomen, pelvis, and the two legs together, the whole body. The whole body, the whole body here in this practice, the whole body resting, the whole body breathing, following the breath, and following the way the fullness of the breath surrenders to autumn, the letting go of the breath, and that yields into winter in that moment of stillness when the breath is new, becoming spring at the beginning of inhale and through to the fullness of summer at the top of the full inhale. Let this body breathe and watch the breath as if the breath were moving through the seasons. And take the time with the exhale, slow and lingering, maybe even extending it longer and longer. All this time to let go, all this time to release and to surrender throughout the length of the exhale and into the depth of the winter of the breath. What does it feel like to be there in that moment of transition from exhale to inhale? What is the winter of the breath? The moment of reset. The moment of changing direction. Trust the breath. Trust the exhale to go as long as it needs to go. Do not rush the exhale. Allow it to be complete and do not rush the moment of pause. The body might remain before inhale for a few seconds. There is no rush. And the inhale might start slowly and slowly build up, creating a pressure, slow and building in the body. The fullness of being full of breath. And that moment of transition in no hurry again, hanging out with that fullness for as long as that's pleasant and welcome, comforting and nourishing. The breathing in and the breathing out. Be with the breath. Be with the seasons of the breath and with the question, how can I welcome the winter? The winter into this body, the moment of pause before inhale. And what might be done to be more comfortable in the winter to come? Is there something in the socks and the shoes, in the layers of warm clothing and the way the house is kept to make this quality of life more and more comfortable. Let the mind be with these questions that may or may not have answers. Letting the body generate whatever associations it might, these suggestions. How can I be more comfortable? How can I stay warm, sheltered, and cozy? Are there things from the past that worked well? Or maybe new things to try? How can I welcome this season and make it most comfortable? For the whole body. The whole body. The whole body. You might choose to stay in this state of awareness. This might be a place to be with these inquiries. Scanning the whole body for where the body is the warmest, seeking out warmth and heat in the body. And at the same time, finding where the body is the coolest and the least warm. Finding the cool and the warm at the same time. And the complexity that is this body, and sharing the warmth with the coolness and the coolness with the warmth. As the mind can also manage temperature in some capacity. Generating warmth where there is coolness, generating coolness where there is warmth. Regulate your inner landscape with the breath and the mind. And you might return here to this state of awareness. You might be here for a moment and you might come out and come back. And there might be things to do for you later today, later tonight. And that's a good reason to start remembering where you are now. Feel the floor beneath you. Remember where you are, the room, the building, the house, the space. The eyes can stay closed, and yet the body knows the shape that it's in and where in the space it is and what other things are there, what types of furniture, maybe windows, doors, where are these things in relation to the body? And taking a moment to remember anything that might be on your horizon here, coming forward later today, later tonight. As you bring in a deeper breath and you listening to the breath and listening and feeling the breath, welcoming a deeper breath as it fills the chest, the abdomen, and maybe movements of the jaw and the tongue, little awakenings of the breath and movements of the fingers and the toes, little wiggles. There's no rush, no hurry. You might choose to awaken by touching the fingers to the thumb one by one, get the motor movements, waking up the brain, little finger movements as we did earlier. You might hold on to your earlobes and give them a little tug, a little massage, or any parts of your face, the eyebrows and forehead. Maybe warming up the hands and covering the eyes with the warmth of these hands. Turning over, rolling to the side, wrapping the arms around the body and giving yourself a hug, or spreading open and reaching out like a great big starfish. moving in a way that feels good and welcoming and nourishing to your body. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. This practice is complete. We have come to the conclusion of this Nidra. We've made it again to the moment that we're in now. Congratulations. Here we are, arriving in this moment. Notice your breath, notice your body, notice how you feel. And connect with anything that you might have noticed or witnessed or had an idea for, or had an insight about in the Nidra. Anything about being comfortable this winter. Review that for yourself. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and leave a comment about your experience. And while you're here, please subscribe to my channel and opt in for notifications to catch the next class I upload. And then head over to olgachwa.com to join in a live event or to work one-on-one with me. I'm here to help.